Hello and welcome to Introduction to the MongoDB course. If you are a total beginner and don't know anything about MongoDB, but want to know what it does, which features it has, then this course is for you. In this course, I'll cover following topics. We will talk about MongoDB in general. We will discuss what is the difference between relational and document databases. And of course, we will talk about advantages of the document databases. Next, we will talk about JSON, extended JSON, and BSON formats. And we will discuss which data types are used to store data in MongoDB database. Then we will discuss MongoDB structure, and you will understand what is the difference between MongoDB shell and MongoDB server. We will discuss what is database, what is collection, and what is a document. Then we will move on and talk about insertion of the documents into the collection. And of course, you will do it yourself. We will discuss such methods as insert1 and insert many. Then we will move on to the find operations and discuss such methods as find and find1. In order to perform queries, you can use different query operators, such as or, and, in, not equal, greater than, less than, and so on. We will talk about some of them in this course. After that, you'll understand how to update documents and how to use such methods as update1 and update many. You'll learn how to use different update operators, such as set, unset, inc, and so on. Of course, we will talk about delete operations and discuss such methods as delete1 and delete many. And finally, we will discuss some advanced MongoDB topics, such as aggregation framework, MongoDB utilities, such as Mongo Restore, Mongo Export, Mongo Import. We will talk about indexes and MongoDB external drivers. If you want to get short and friendly introduction to the MongoDB and learn its main features, please enroll to this course. See you inside! I am teaching this course at udemy.com, and this course is free. Here at Udemy it is structured in several sections, it also has exercise file, and it has captions for different languages. So feel free to join this course at udemy.com. I am also teaching another course, MongoDB Essentials Complete MongoDB Guide. This course has more than 10 hours of content and a lot of different sections dedicated to MongoDB. And with this course, you can learn MongoDB from the very beginning till expert. Please feel free to check out those courses. I have added links to both of them in the description to this video. Okay, let's get started with Introduction to the MongoDB. See you in a bit. In this introduction section, I want to answer following questions. How MongoDB works? How it stores data? What is the type of MongoDB database? But first question I want to answer is where MongoDB is used. MongoDB is extremely popular database and it can be used in different kinds of applications, such as desktop applications, mobile applications, or only in the backend. But most often MongoDB is used in the full-stack web applications. Each full-stack web application usually utilizes several technologies, and this set is called stack. There are two popular stacks, called MERN and Min. And if you are a developer with some practical background, I am sure that you have heard about them. Those stacks combine different technologies. For example, in MERN, M stands for MongoDB, E for Express, R for React, and N for Node.js. Node.js is JavaScript server technology. React is a front-end framework. Express is a web server for Node.js. And MongoDB is database. In the Min stack, Angular front-end framework is used instead of React. Min is older than MERN because React has become popular in the last years. Using MERN and Min stacks, you can build full-featured full-stack JavaScript applications. Why I say JavaScript? Because Node.js is based on JavaScript, React is JavaScript, Express is JavaScript, and MongoDB is also based on JavaScript. It uses Mozilla's SpiderMonkey JavaScript engine. And if you are familiar with JavaScript, you can start with MongoDB pretty quick. But what is the type of MongoDB database? It is document database. And let's talk about this next. See you in a bit. There are two most common types of databases: relational databases or SQL databases and document databases or NoSQL databases. Examples of the relational databases are MySQL and Oracle. In SQL databases, data is stored in different tables, and those tables have fixed schema. Data that is stored in those tables has relations such as one-to-one, one-to-many, or many-to-many. And in order to retrieve some data from the relational database, you usually perform join request that combines data from different tables. In document databases, data is stored in separate documents, and each document is independent from others. And it is not mandatory to have same schema for all documents. For example, some documents in the database may have field called city, but other documents in the same database may not have this field. Another advantage: all information related to the document is stored in one document, in one place. And when you perform query, you retrieve just one document. No need to perform different join requests. And of course, you can edit any document independent from others, you can insert new documents, you can delete documents, and so on. Very flexible. Let's move on, and next let's discuss structure of the MongoDB database. See you in a second. Bye. Let's now talk about MongoDB structure. Each MongoDB database consists of databases. There are default databases that are created after each installation of the MongoDB. And they are called, for example, admin and local. Each database consists of collections. And each collection consists of the documents. We have discussed what is a document in the previous lecture. Usually, documents are grouped into the same collection by common fields. Let's suppose that you want to create e-commerce web application, and you will create a database called e-commerce store, and you will probably create such collections as products, product categories, shopping cart, customers, and so on. Again, schema is flexible, and it's not mandatory to have same set of fields in the documents in the same collection. That is the structure of each MongoDB database. Let's move on, and next let's discuss what is a MongoDB shell and MongoDB server. See you! In this lecture we will talk about Mongo shell and Mongo server. When you install MongoDB, you'll get those two applications. MongoD command is used to launch Mongo server, and Mongo command is used to launch Mongo shell. Those two applications are separate. But what those two applications do? Mongo server stores data in the MongoDB database. It is the main point of data storage. And Mongo shell is used for management of the Mongo server. Using Mongo shell, you can insert documents into the Mongo server, you can update documents, you can delete documents, and so on. In other words, you can perform all kinds of CRUD operations: create, read, update, and delete. And that is the Mongo shell. Both Mongo shell and Mongo server are based on the JavaScript engine. In order to manage MongoDB server, you can use Mongo shell located on the same computer. But you can also manage remote Mongo server using local Mongo shell. For example, you can connect to remote MongoDB server using MongoDB shell installed on your local computer. And please remember those two commands. MongoD command starts MongoDB server, and Mongo command starts Mongo shell. And again, those two applications are separate. Okay, let's move on to the next section, where we will discuss MongoDB installation, and you will install MongoDB on your local computer. We will also cover MongoDB Atlas, that is a cloud solution that offers MongoDB as a service. Okay, let's move on. See you in a bit. Bye. In this section, we will discuss MongoDB installation and explore MongoDB shell. Let's first discuss MongoDB installation on the local computer. Please navigate to mongodb.com and click here Get MongoDB. And then on Community Server tab, you will be able to choose installation for your operating system. MongoDB is available for Windows, Linux and Mac OS. Current stable release at the moment of recording of this course is 4.0.0, and this major version was released at the end of June 2018. So please install this version for your operating system. If you use Mac OS, please use Homebrew in order to install MongoDB server. And you can click instructions for installing with Homebrew here. Scroll down here to the section Install MongoDB Community Edition with Homebrew and follow all steps outlined here. If you use Windows, just download installation package, here it is MCI package, and follow installation instructions here for Windows. Here they are. If you use Linux, please follow instructions for Linux. I'll make a break now and give you time to install MongoDB on your local computer. Please note that MongoDB shell will be installed along with MongoDB server. In the next lecture, we will start MongoDB server and connect to it from MongoDB shell. See you in a bit. Bye. I hope you have successfully installed MongoDB server on your local computer, and now let's launch it and connect to it from MongoDB shell. First, you should check whether MongoD command is available in your shell. If it is available, you can check, for example, version of the MongoDB server. Type MongoD-version. And on my computer, I have installed latest version. It is 4.0.0. In your case, it may be something larger than this one. Let's start MongoDB server. Just MongoD and enter. And if everything is fine, then you will see that server was started and server will wait for connections on port 27017. In the other terminal window, I'll check whether Mongo command is available. And we can also check version of the MongoDB shell. Just Mongo and -version. Version of the Mongo shell on my computer is the same as the version of the MongoDB server, because I have installed them as one package. And this version is 4.0.0. Let's start MongoDB shell. Just Mongo command and enter. And here it is, I have successfully connected to the MongoDB server. No username and password was asked, because MongoDB server is installed on the same computer where this MongoDB shell is located. And here I can use, for example, db.version command. And this command will show version of the server, and it is version 4.0.0. Okay, let's move on, and in the next lecture, let's talk about MongoDB Atlas. It is a MongoDB in the cloud solution. See you in a second. Bye. In this lecture, I want to make short overview of the MongoDB Atlas. MongoDB Atlas is a service offered by MongoDB company. On mongodb.com website, click on Cloud and here MongoDB Atlas. In the previous lecture, we discussed installation of the MongoDB server on your local computer. This installation is good for development and educational purposes. But if you want to use MongoDB in production, you should consider, for example, this service. Or you can set up your own servers and configure everything yourself. But MongoDB Atlas offers fully functional production solution for MongoDB. And it is very easy to use. In order to use MongoDB Atlas, you need to have account at mongodb.com. If you don't have it, you can create it here. After creation of the account, you will be able to create new MongoDB Atlas cluster. I have already created one. and I'll show you now how it looks. Here is example of the cluster. Version of the cluster in my setup is 3.6.6. If I click on the cluster 0, I'll see 3 servers in the cluster. Those 3 servers are combined in the high reliable and high available replica set. It means that if one of the servers will fail, another will take over. This cluster is free and instance size is M0. If I'll go back to tab about MongoDB Atlas and scroll down here to the pricing, you will see that there is a free option with 512 megabytes of storage and shared RAM available. And this allows you to play with MongoDB Atlas, use it for development or educational purposes. But if you really need production version, you can consider other plans, like Basic, Pro or Enterprise. Okay, let's get back to the cluster and go back to the list of the clusters. Here near the cluster 0, click on the Connect button, and here in the pop-up window you'll see different connection methods that you can use in order to connect to this MongoDB Atlas cluster. Make sure that your public IP address is added to the IP whitelist. Now I'll show you how to connect to this MongoDB Atlas cluster from my local computer. I have already added my public IP address to the IP whitelist, and now I'll click on the Connect with the Mongo shell. And here I'll choose I am using shell 3.6 or later, because I am using shell 4.0.0. Click on this option, and here I'll see command that I need to use in order to connect to this MongoDB Atlas cluster. Just click copy here, then open new terminal window, here it is, and here paste this command. Of course, I have created this admin user before, because it is remote connection, and you will be prompted to create new admin user during creation of the new cluster. Let's go back and press enter. Enter password for this admin user. And here we are. I have successfully connected to the MongoDB Atlas cluster. You may notice warning here, shell and server versions don't match. That's because I use MongoDB shell version 4.0.0 and MongoDB server version is this one. Of course, it's recommended to use same versions of the MongoDB shell and MongoDB server. But for basic operations, it doesn't matter. And here I can use same command, db.version, and I'll get version of the MongoDB server, and it is 3.6.6. In this example, I have connected to the remote MongoDB server, that is a MongoDB Atlas cluster that consists of 3 servers, and I have connected from local MongoDB shell. If you want, you can create MongoDB account, create new cluster and do the same. But for the rest of the course, I'll use MongoDB server installed on my local computer. This one. Okay, let's move on, and in the next lecture we will explore MongoDB shell. See you there. Bye. Let's now explore MongoDB shell. Make sure that MongoD is running, it means that MongoDB server is up, and connect to it from MongoDB shell using Mongo command. Again, I use local MongoDB server and local MongoDB shell, and version is 4.0.0. Let's look at this command again, db.version and parentheses. What does it mean? I have told you that Mongo uses JavaScript engine, and in JavaScript this is following. db here is an object, dot means that I try to access one of the properties or methods of this object, version is a method or function of this object, and here I call this function. And here is the result of this function call. That's it. Let's try another function call. Let's call help function, db.help and parentheses. Here I'll get list of all commands that I can use in the MongoDB shell. For example, I can use command show dbs. And this command will show me list of all databases. And by default, 3 databases were created. And they are admin, config and local. Let's now explore admin database. Just use command, use and name of the database, use admin. And you see message here switched to db admin. Here I can list all collections inside of the admin database. Show collections. List is empty because there are no collections. Let's switch to local database. Use local. Show collections here. And you see here one collection startup_log. Let's look at another command, for example db.stats. This is also a method, and this function returns some statistics about MongoDB server. For example, there is storage size that is equal to this value. But what is the format of this output? It is a JSON, and we will talk about JSON in the next section. But before moving on to the next section, let's talk about Robo 3T. It is a graphical application that is very useful for MongoDB server management. It has embedded MongoDB shell, and we will use it in the next sections. So in the next lecture, let's install Robo 3T. See you there in a moment. Bye. From my point of view, it's not much convenient to use native MongoDB shell in the terminal. All outputs and commands are in the same color. It's difficult to enter several commands one by one. That's why I suggest you to install Robo 3T, that was previously called RoboMongo. You should navigate to robomongo.org website and download this application here. Please note that there is another option available called Studio 3T. That is another application for MongoDB management, and it has a lot of features, but it is free only for non-commercial usage. We will use Robo 3T. It is very simple and it has embedded MongoDB shell. Robo 3T is available for different operating systems. Just click Download Robo 3T, click Download Robo 3T again, and choose needed installation, either for Windows, Mac or Linux. Please pause the video at this point and install Robo 3T. After successful installation, open application and you will see something like this. Click here Create new connection and add connection to the local host. Leave here address by default and port also by default to 7017 and name connection, for example, localhost. Click Test. Test will be successful and click Save. Of course, make sure that MongoDB server is up. And now click Connect. And here on the left pane you'll see databases on your MongoDB server. Here is, for example, admin database, local and config. Let's double click on local database, expand collections, and here you will see same collection that we have explored in the MongoDB shell, startup_log. Let's double click on it, and contents of this collection will be opened here on the right. And you will see that output is pretty good formatted with different colors and so on. Same commands, you can add different commands here, for example db.version and parentheses. If you want to execute command, you can click here green triangle or just use shortcut Command Enter on Mac and Control Enter on Windows. And here you will get result 4.0.0. It is a version of the database on the MongoDB server. Okay, let's move on to the next section where we will discuss JSON, extended JSON and BSON formats. And after that section, we will move on and explore most common operations with MongoDB database. We will insert different documents, update them, and so on. See you in the next section. Bye bye. Now you should have MongoDB server installed on your local computer, and before moving on to MongoDB operations, we need to talk about data format in MongoDB. And in this section, we will cover such topics as JSON, BSON, and extended JSON. And we will start with JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. And data presented in JSON is just a string. And here on the left, you see example of the JSON object. Please notice single quotes that surround this object. They mean that this object is simply a string. JSON object is a string because usually it is used for data exchange between client and server or between different servers. It is often used in different APIs. Let's look at the structure of this object. It consists of key-value pairs separated by comma. Each key-value pair is separated by colon. Each key is surrounded by double quotes, and you cannot use single quotes here, because double quotes are required by standard, and JSON parsers will throw an error if you will use single quotes here. Here on the first line you see value phone. It is also surrounded by double quotes, and it means that this value is a string. On the next line, price 120, this value is a number. In stock true, it is boolean, features its array of strings. And here on the right you see 6 data types that are supported by JSON: string, number, object, array, boolean and null. Let's shortly summarize. JSON is usually used for data exchange, and it is represented as a string. Inside, it is an object with key-value pairs. All keys must be surrounded by double quotes, and JSON supports 6 data types. Next, let's discuss difference between JSON and JavaScript object, because many people think that JSON is JavaScript object, but it is wrong. See you in a bit, bye. Let's now discuss difference between JSON and JavaScript object. JSON is a string, as we have just discussed. Here is an example. JavaScript object is variable type, and JavaScript object is represented like this. It is a set of key-value pairs surrounded by curly braces. It is not a string, it is an object, JavaScript variable type. And it is not needed to use double quotes around each key. In fact, you can use double quotes, but it is not required. Again, JavaScript object is a variable type and JSON is a string. And in JSON, you must surround each key by double quotes. You can easily convert JSON to JavaScript object and back. In JavaScript, there are 2 methods for this. JSON.parse will convert JSON to JavaScript object, and JSON.stringify will convert JavaScript object to JSON. That's it. Okay, let's move on, and in the next lecture we will talk about data format that is used for data storage in the MongoDB server. See you there. Bye. Now it's time to talk about BSON format. All documents in the MongoDB database are stored using BSON format. BSON stands for binary JSON. And here you see example of the document that is stored using BSON format. And it is exactly the same document that we have discussed before. This one. Type, phone, price 120 and so on. And you see this data here. But you see dots as well. In fact, document is stored in binary format. And here you see representation of this data in ASCII codes. And each ASCII code is represented as pair of hexadecimal numbers. For example, here you see table with different symbols and their representations in hexadecimal format. For example, symbol W has corresponding hexadecimal value 77. And here you see 77 at the beginning of this piece of data. And here you see W at the beginning in this part. This part is simply attempt to parse this part. And when there is no corresponding letter, number or special symbol for specific ASCII code, you will see dot here. But why do we need this BSON format? Why cannot we simply use JSON to store data in the database? We have discussed that JSON supports only 6 data types. But BSON supports much more data types. But you may ask me, hey, where are those types here? I see just mass of ASCII characters. In fact, there are types encoded here. And we will get back to this example later on. But before that, let's talk about extended JSON. That is a special format that is used to represent this mass of characters in the readable format. See you in the next lecture. Bye-bye. Let's now talk about extended JSON. Extended JSON is used for representation of the data that is stored in the BSON format in readable format. It is also used to store new documents in the BSON format. In other words, using extended JSON, you can give instructions for MongoDB which types should be used for values that you pass to the MongoDB. In this example, you see some values that are embedded into the parentheses and prefix such as object ID, ISO date or number long is added. In fact, this syntax is something that combines JSON and JavaScript syntax. If we will look at this part, object ID, parentheses and string inside, it looks like call to the function. Object ID is a function, and here in the parentheses we pass one argument to this function, and this argument is string. Same with number long. Number long is a function, and here in the parentheses we pass a number to this function. And that's what you have seen, for example, when we have discovered startup_log collection. Here is an example of ISO date, here is an example of number long, and that is a representation of one of the documents from Mongo database. To summarize, extended JSON is something between JSON and BSON. Let's next look at most popular data types that are used in BSON and discuss their representation in extended JSON. But let's do that in the next lecture. See you there! Let's now look at most common BSON types and examples of their representation in extended JSON format. In this table, in the first column, you see BSON type name. On the second column, there is BSON type ID. And in the third, you see examples of the extended JSON representation of each value type. Let's now look at those most commonly used BSON types. You may see that string, object, boolean, array, and double don't have any prefix. That's because there is corresponding value type in the JSON format, and there is no need to add additional information such as here, for example, number int. String is just a string embedded into the quotes. Object is just an object as we have discussed in JSON. Key-value pairs, key is surrounded by double quotes, value can be string, number, and so on. Boolean, either true or false. Array, square brackets and their list of elements separated by commas. Double, any number in MongoDB, if not instructed otherwise, is stored as a double. You see here dot, but without dot, if you pass plain number to MongoDB, this number will be also stored as a double. If you want to save number explicitly as integer number, then you need to use number int or number long prefix. And it is 32-bit integer or 64-bit integer. Here is an example of the 32-bit integer representation. Object ID is used in each document in MongoDB, and its goal is to make each document unique. And this number must be unique inside of each collection in MongoDB. And date is date representation in MongoDB. It is separate type. And it has prefix ISO date. But what those BSON type IDs mean, where they are used? Let's look at this next. See you in a second. Let's now get back to the example that we have seen before. It is an example of the document that is stored in the BSON format. And I have told you that in this set of ASCII codes there are value types encoded in separate characters. And here is exactly what I have talked about. You may notice underscore ID here, and before that dots here. And before underscore ID, in those ASCII codes, there is special character 07 that saves data type of underscore ID value. And let's get back to the table. 07, here it is type ID of the object ID. Here it is. On this line you see in stock, and in our example it is true. You see number 8, and number 8 represents Boolean type. Here 04. It stands before features. And features, in our case, it is array. And here you also see this number for array. And finally, 02 is string. You remember that features is array of strings, such as HD camera, Wi-Fi and LTE. All those values are strings. You see 02 also here and here. All those three ASCII codes 02 say that value is stored as a string. Now you know how data is stored in the MongoDB database. It is stored in BSON format. Extended JSON is used for representation of the BSON format in readable format, and extended JSON is also used to give MongoDB instructions which value types it should use for data storage. Now you are equipped with knowledge about JSON, BSON and extended JSON, and we can move on to CRUD operations in MongoDB. And first operation we will talk about will be insertion of new documents and creation of the new collections. And this we will discuss in the next section. See you there. Bye-bye. In this section you will understand how to create collections and insert documents into it. Let's first discuss create collection method, and that is a method of the DB object. db.createCollection, and in the parentheses you pass string as an argument, and this argument is name of new collection. Each collection must be created in certain database. Remember that after the installation of MongoDB server we get three databases: admin, local and config. You shouldn't use those three databases for your data. Please create always separate database for that. In this lecture, I'll create new database called forum and insert new collection into it. And this collection will be called posts. Let's do that in the native MongoDB shell. Use Mongo command to connect to the Mongo shell and clear terminal first using cls command. And then show DBs. You'll see three default databases. Then use command, use forum, and this command will switch you to the new database. But at this moment, this database is not created yet. It will be created only when I will create new collection inside of it. Let's create post collection in the forum database. db.createCollection and pass name as a string. Name will be posts. And press enter. You'll see a result that is returned from the server, OK1. It means that collection was successfully created. Let's use show collections command and list all collections inside of the forum database. Show collections. And here is a list of collections, and this list contains newly created post collection. Of course, this post collection is empty at the moment. Let's talk about insertion of the documents into the collection in the next lecture. See you there. Bye-bye. Now we can talk about documents insertion into the collection. And we will discuss two methods, insert1 and insert_many. Those methods are collection methods. It means that you need to use them like this: db.post.insert1 or insert_many. What this insert1 method does? It takes one object and inserts one document into the MongoDB collection. Another method, insert_many, takes array as an argument, and this array consists of several objects separated by commas. In this course we will use both methods, insert1 and insert_many, and you will insert documents that I have prepared in the separate file post.txt. In the next lecture you will download this file and I will describe its contents. See you in a bit. Bye. Attached to this lesson you will find file called post.txt. Please download it to your computer. This file contains 5 objects. Here they are: And those objects will be inserted as new documents into the post collection. Let's look at this object. This object consists of following fields: title, that is a title of sample post; post ID, that is a number 3511 for example, and you may notice that each post ID is unique across all posts. Then number of comments, shared, true or false, tags, it is array of tags, and author, that is an object that consists of two key-value pairs: name of the author and nickname of the author. In this sample data, some posts are created by the same author. For example, this one and last one. Same author, Mike Forrester. Also, this one and this one are created by Emily Watson. Question for you. What is the data format of each object? Is it JSON, extended JSON, or BSON, or something else? Please think about that. What is your answer? Answer is following. This format is simply format of the JavaScript object, because you don't see double quotes around each key. You can easily use JavaScript objects in the MongoDB shell, because MongoDB shell is based on JavaScript. And you can use such kind of objects in order to assign them to the variable and then insert this variable as a document into the MongoDB database. And you may notice that each object has different value types. For example, here is string, here is integer 32, here is a number that will be stored as a double, here is boolean, array, and object. Okay, let's move on, and in the next lecture we will insert a couple of documents into the collection called posts. And then you will insert the rest of the documents yourself. See you in the next lecture. Bye bye. Okay, let's insert first document into the collection. I'll take this one, copy it, and go to the Robo 3T. I'll close these tabs here and refresh here, view on the left. Right button click and refresh. And you will notice that form database has appeared here on the list. I'll expand it, expand collection folder, and double click on the posts collection. Of course, now this post collection is empty. Let's add first document into this collection. I'll remove this part, and we will use insert1 method. Syntax is following: db, then collection name, that is a post, dot insert1. And this method requires an object. We can do following. We can paste entire object here in the parentheses, like this. But that is a not preferable way to do that. It's not readable. That's why I'll do following. I'll create new variable above, and I'll declare it using const. Const means that variable will not be reassigned later on. Const, and this variable will be called just document. And I'll assign value to it, and this value is object that I have copied from the text file here. And add semicolon at the end, because it is a JavaScript statement and each statement must have semicolon at the end. And then db.posts.insert1 and simply doc here in the parentheses. You can add here semicolon, but you can also omit it. Let's now execute this piece of code. You can click this green triangle or use shortcut. I will use shortcut Command Enter or Control Enter in Windows. And here below in the window, I'll detach it. You will see result of the operation. Acknowledge true and inserted ID that is equal to the object ID. It means that after the insert1 operation, MongoDB server will return object in extended JSON format. And you will see here result of the operation and object ID of the newly created document. This object ID was created automatically. Let's use next method insert many and insert two more documents into the collection. And insert many requires an array that consists of several objects. So instead of insert1, let's use insert many, and here I can do following. I can directly put array and copy this object, paste here, comma, and copy next object, this one, and paste as a second element of the array. Or again, you can create separate variable and assign this array to this separate variable. Let's do this in this way. I'll copy this part and create new variable, again const, doc array equal to copied value, this one, semicolon. And dbPos insert many, and in the parentheses I'll add doc array. And let's execute this code. Again, I have created array with two objects, two JavaScript objects. And then I use insert many method of the post collection and pass doc array as an argument to it. Command enter and let's execute it. And again, let's detach this window and the result is following. Acknowledge true and inserted IDs now is array of two object IDs. And those object IDs reflect two object IDs of the documents that were just created from those objects. Okay, now task for you. We have two remaining objects, this one and this one, with titles I want to start my own business, what I need to do first, and second title, what is the average salary of the junior front-end developer. Now it's your turn. Please take those two objects and insert them into the same collection. You can use either insert one method or insert many method. Please pause the video now and do that yourself. Okay, how was it? What is the result of your operations? Let's do that now together. I'll use insert one method. I'll delete this, const doc equal to first object, this one. Copy, paste here, semicolon, dbPos insert one, and here just doc. Command enter, and here I'll get an error, failed to execute script redeclaration of const doc. That's because I have already used doc as a variable and assigned object to it. Remember that I have used doc variable in order to insert first document into the collection. And technically, I am working in the same MongoDB shell, and doc variable is already in memory. And because it was declared as const, I am not able to reassign its value. In order to do that, I can either rename this document to another one, or you can open new MongoDB shell connection to the post collection by clicking on it, like this. But let me use first option. I'll rename this doc to the doc 4, for example, because there's a fourth object in this post.txt file. And I'll rename it here, doc 4, and execute it. And now insertion was successful. And here is an object ID of the newly added document. Okay, let's add final document, last one, it is a fifth document. Copy this object, replace contents of the JavaScript object here, and let's rename it to doc5. Doc5. And execute it. Command enter. And here we are. One more document was inserted into the collection. Finally, we should have 5 documents in the post collection. Just double click on the post collection, and here you should see 5 documents. Here they are. Okay, now we have some sample documents to play with, and in the next sections we will use find, update and delete operations. And next section will be dedicated to find and find one methods. And you may notice that when you double click on the name of the collection, immediately find method is executed. And you may notice that empty object is passed to the find method. Let's talk about read operations in the next section. See you there. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to the finding documents section. In this section, we will talk about read operations in MongoDB. And you can use two methods, find and find1. From the name of those methods, it is clear that find1 will return just one document, and find may return several documents, in fact all that match this query. Query is an argument that you pass to the find1 or find method. And query is just a JavaScript object with key-value pairs, nothing else. And of course, find and find1 methods are collection methods, and they need to be executed on the certain collection. In our example, it is post collection. Okay, let's move on, and in the next lecture, we will perform some find operations on our sample data. And of course, I'll give some tasks for you. See you in a bit, bye. Okay, let me close another tab, and let's execute find query again. Just command enter. And this query will return all documents in the post collection. That's because we have passed empty object as an argument to the find method. In Robo 3T, you can switch views of the output. Here you see result in extended JSON format. You see double quotes around each key. You can switch to the views here on the right. Here is a table view, and in the table view you see titles of each column, _ID, title, post ID, comments, shared, text, and author. You can switch to tree view here, and here you are able to expand each document. And what is useful here is that here on the last column that is called type, you see type of each value in the document. For example, type of the value of _ID is object ID. Title is a string. Post ID is int32. It is int32 because we have explicitly told MongoDB that post ID should be stored as int32. We have used number int prefix here. Then comments is stored as a double because we have not passed any type information here, and I have told you that in this case any number will be stored as a double, and here you see that. Then shared is boolean, text is array, and author is object. We can expand author as well, and you will see type of each value in the author object. Name is string and nickname is also string. Okay, let's go back to the default extended JSON view mode. Let's use find1 method. Find1, and here let's again pass empty object. And execute query. And here is just one document. First document that matches this query. Let's find specific document by its post ID. I'll try to find this document with post ID 3015. In this case, I need to modify this query object and write here post ID equal to 3015. 3015. And let's execute this. Now I have found this specific document with post ID 3015. Notice that it is not required to add here number int prefix. Of course, you can add it like this, number int. But result will be the same and execute it. So result is the same. Okay, now it's time for the task for you. Please find one document that has two comments. Good luck. Okay, how was it? Let's do that together. Instead of post ID, I'll use comments field. Comments, and here on the right side, I'll pass 2. And execute query. And here is result. This document has 2 comments. Okay, next let's try find method. And let's find all documents with 0 comments. Comments 0. Command enter. And we have found 2 documents with 0 comments. This one and this one. Okay, now another task for you. Please find all documents that were created by Emily Watson. Good luck. Okay, let's now do that together. You may notice that name of the author is embedded field in the author field. In this case, I need to use dot notation here. Author dot name. And here on the right, I need to pass value, this one. And let's try to execute this operation and see what happens. Command enter. I'll get error unexpected token dot. It means that if you want to access embedded property, you need to add double quotes here, around the fields, like this. And only now I will be able to find all documents with author.name that is equal to Emily Watson. Here is first document and here is second document. Okay, now another task for you. Please find all documents where tags contains programming string. Good luck! Let's do that now together. You see that tags is an array of strings. In this case, we can use just same syntax as with other fields, just like this, tags, and here I'll pass programming. And let's execute this, command enter. And here is result. First document, and here you see programming tag, and second document that has same programming tag. It means that you can easily use such queries to find documents by array elements, by specific values, or by values of the nested fields. Let's move on, and next let's discuss query operators that are very helpful in finding documents. See you there, bye bye. There are many different query operators that can be used in the queries, and here you see some examples of them. You see that each operator is prepended by $sign, and that is a signal for MongoDB shell that you use query operator instead of just field name. For example, less than operator is used when you want to find all documents with certain value of the field that is less than specified value or greater than specified value, and is used when you want to pass several conditions and only documents that match all conditions will be returned. If you use OR operator, then documents that match any of the conditions will be returned back. Okay, let's now try some of those query operators in action. And let's do that in the next lecture. See you there. Okay, let's now try some query operators in action. And first example will be following. Let's find all documents that have non-zero number of comments. You see that this document has 0 comments and last one. So 3 documents should be returned back. Let's construct this query. We will query by comments field, comments, and here as a value you will pass an object. And this object will also have key value pair. Key will be operator, $sign greater than, then colon, and we want to find all documents where comments value is greater than 0. That's why we pass here 0. And let's execute this query, command enter. And we get back 1, 2, 3, 3 documents, where comments field is non-zero. Here, here, and here. Okay, now task for you. Please find all documents that have less than 5 comments. Good luck. Okay, this query is simple. We need to use less than instead of greater than, and here put 5. And execute it. And here is the result, 3 documents matched. And you see that documents that have 0 comments also matched. Here. Now, let's suppose that we want to find all documents that have less than 5 comments, but greater than 0 comments. So each document must match both conditions. In this case, we need to use AND operator. Let's use it. I'll copy this part and delete it here and do following. I'll add query object, add here new line, and here I'll use AND operator. I will start query with $AND. This query operator needs an array as a value. Array of conditions. Here is this array. And I'll add 2 conditions to this array. First condition, comments less than 5. Then comma, and next condition, comments greater than 0. JT 0. Like this. Let's execute this query. Command enter. And here I'll get only 1 document. And that is the correct result, because only one of the 5 documents has number of comments that is greater than 0 and less than 5. Okay, now it's time for the task for you. Please use OR operator instead of AND and find all documents that are either shared, where shared is true, or have programming tag. Good luck! Okay, what is the result? Let's do that now together. Instead of AND, I'll use OR. And here will be first condition. Shared, true. And second condition is tags, programming. We are looking for programming tag in the tags array. Let's execute this. Command Enter. And we got 3 documents. In the first document, shared is true and programming tag is present. In the second document, shared is false, but programming tag is present. That's why this document matched this query, because we have used OR operator. And in the last document, we see shared true and no programming tag. Okay, now another task for you. Please use IN operator. And this IN operator requires an array of elements as a value. And this operator is used for arrays. And it will find documents that have certain value in the array that exists in the list of the elements that you pass as a value to this IN operator. And your task is to find documents where tags array contains either programming or coding. Good luck! Okay, how was it? Let's do that now together. I'll delete this entire query with OR operator, like this. And I'll query now tags array and I'll use IN operator. I'll do following. Tags, and on the right side, object. And this object will start with $IN operator. And after the colon, I'll pass array of elements. Programming. And after the comma, coding. I'll split this to the 2 lines, like this. Programming and coding. Okay, let's execute this. Command Enter. And here is the result. 2 documents were returned. First document has programming tag in the tags array. And second one has both coding and programming in the tags array. All other documents in the post collection don't have programming or coding tag. Okay, now you know how to use query operators in the queries. Now let's move on, and next let's talk about sort, limit and skip helper methods. See you there. Bye bye. Let's now talk about sort, limit and skip methods. Those methods are helper methods of the find method. It means that they need to be chained after the find method. Names of those methods are pretty self-explanatory. Sort will sort resulting documents. Limit will limit number of the resulting documents. And skip will skip certain amount of the documents. You can sort documents by certain field, and you can use either ascending or descending sort. In the limit, you should simply pass a number, for example, limit 2, and this will limit number of the documents in the result to 2. In the skip, same as with limit, you pass a number and you will simply skip certain number of the documents, for example 5 or 3. Let's move on, and in the next lecture, let's try those methods in action. See you there. Okay, let's now try those helper methods in action. I'll go to the Robo 3 bag and delete this query. Query object will be empty. And let's execute this query. Command Enter. Now I get 5 documents. All documents that exist in the post collection. Let's now add limit method. .limit. And here I pass a number, 2 for example. And let's execute this. Command Enter. And now I get only 2 documents in the result. If I change it to 1, I'll get just 1 document. Let's now try skip method. Skip 2. And Command Enter. Now I get only 3 documents, because first 2 were skipped. And I get documents starting from document 3, from this one. Here it is. We have skipped first 2 documents. And now sort. And sort requires an object as a value, like this. And here in the object you need to pass key-value pair. Let's suppose that I want to sort by comments field. I'll copy comments, paste here, colon, and add 1 or -1 as a value. Let's try 1. Command Enter. And now you see that documents are sorted by comments field in ascending order. And document with the largest amount of comments is at the end. Please try yourself sorting by -1. Okay, let's do that now together. Comments, -1. And execute it. Now, documents will be sorted in descending order. Okay, another task for you. Please try to sort by title in ascending order. Good luck. Let's do that now together. Title, and here will be 1. Command Enter. And now I see result. Here is this title, then comes title starting from M, then from W, then again from W, and finally also W. It means that those documents were sorted by title. I can ask you, what is the default sort of the documents if I simply remove this sort method? What is the answer for this question? Answer is simple. By default, documents are sorted by _ID. And you may notice that each object ID for the next document is larger than previous object ID. Now another task for you. Please use simultaneously 2 methods, sort and skip. Skip 2 elements and sort by shared field. Good luck. Okay, let's do that now together. .skip, skip 2 documents, and then sort by shared field in ascending order. Shared, colon, 1. And let's execute this, Command Enter. I'll get 3 documents that are sorted by shared field. First comes document with shared false, and then documents with shared true. That is the ascending sort for Boolean values. You can also split this line to several lines, like this, to make it more readable. Okay, let's summarize. There are 3 helper methods for find method. They are skip, sort, and limit. And you can use them to limit number of the documents, to skip some documents, and to sort documents. Okay, that is the last lecture in this section, and let's move on to the next section, where we will talk about update operations. See you in the next section. Bye-bye. Now it's time for update operations. There are 2 methods, update1 and updateMany, that can be used for document updates. And of course, from the title, you can understand that update1 updates just 1 document, and updateMany can update simultaneously several documents. In the parentheses, you can pass several arguments to each of those methods. And they are query, update, and options. Each of those arguments is an object. In the query, you specify which documents you want to update. In the update, you specify what you want to update, which operations you want to perform. And here are options. And of course, those 2 methods are collection methods. You cannot use those methods without update operators. That's why next let's talk about update operators, and after that, of course, we will try update methods in action. See you in the next lecture. Bye-bye. Now let's discuss update operators. They are used in this update argument that is passed to update1 and updateMany methods. That is the second argument. There are several popular operators. Each update operator, same as query operator, has $sign at the beginning. There are many different update operators, and here you see only some of them. Most popular operator is set. It sets value of certain field. Unset unsets certain field. Inc increments certain field by specified amount. Rename renames field, and so on. Let's now try some of those update operators in action, and let's do that in the next lecture. See you there. Okay, let's now try update operators in action. And first operator we will try is set. Let's go back to Robo 3D. I'll close this tab and right button click on the form database and click Open Shell. This will open empty shell. And here I'll do following: db, then posts, that is the name of the collection, and update 1. Here you see list of suggestions, I can choose update 1 here. And here I'll pass first argument, that is a query, and second argument, that is the update object. Let's split this in several lines like this. Here it is. And let's now do following. Let's find document, for example this one, with post ID 2618. And then let's set shared to true. Now it is false. Okay, let's use post ID in the query. Post ID equal to 2618. 2618. And then I'll use set operator, $set, colon, and I want to set shared to true. Let's do following. I'll open new shell, double click on post collection, and find one, and paste here this query in order to see difference. Command enter. Now shared is false. Okay, now I'll set shared to true. I'll pass an object as a value, shared, colon, true. And let's execute this, command enter. And here is the result. Acknowledged true, matched count 1, and modified count 1. It means that one document was found and one document was modified. Let's get back to the find one tab and execute this query again, command enter. And now shared is true. Now it's time for the challenge for you. Please find document, this one, with post ID 1151 and change its title. Title should be what is the average salary of the senior front-end developer. Good luck! Okay, let's do that now together. Let's get back to update 1 tab, and instead of post ID 2618, I'll use post ID 1151, paste it here, and set title. I'll copy current title from here and paste here, and instead of junior, I'll use senior, like this. And let's go back to find one tab, and here 1151. So at the moment here is junior, and let's execute update 1 operation. Command enter. And you see result modified count 1. Let's get back to find one, refresh, and now here you see senior. Okay, next let's try unset operation. Unset instead of set. Unset deletes certain field. And let's, for example, delete text field here in this document where text array is empty. Let's first find all documents with empty text array. Text equal to empty array. Command enter. And here is the result. Just one document has empty array. And let's, instead of update 1, let's use update many. Update many, text equal to empty array, and we will simply unset this field. Instead of string, simply pass 1, text colon 1. And let's execute it. Modified count 1. One document was modified. Let's now try to find documents with empty text array, command enter, and now I get nothing, because there are no documents with empty array. Let's try to find this document by its ID, 2618. Post ID, and here on the right, 2618, and execute it. Now this document doesn't have text array. Now another task for you. Please use inc operator and increment number of the comments in this document. Increment this number by 1. Good luck! Okay, let's do that now together. Let's firstly find this document by its ID 8451, command enter. Here it is. Now number of the comments is 2. Let's use inc operator. Update 1. I'll update specific document, post ID 451. Here it is. And I'll use inc operator, and I will increment comments by 1. Simply comments here by 1. Command enter. Modified count 1. Let's get back to find 1 and execute this query again. And now there are 3 comments. Okay, that is a short overview of the update operators. Let's move on, and in the next section we will discuss delete methods, and we will delete some of the documents in our collection. See you there. Bye bye. In this section we will talk about delete methods. They are very simple, and you need to pass only query as an argument here. Delete one will delete just one document, delete many will delete all documents that match query. Let's try those methods in action next. See you. Let's now try delete one and delete many methods in action. And in order to do that, let me insert a couple of new documents into the post collection. Here, instead of find one, I'll use insert one and insert document only with post ID. Post ID, number int, and here for one that is ID of a new document. Command enter. Now let's insert one more document with post ID equal to number int 2222 and 3333 as third post ID. Now in my collection there will be 8 documents. Let's execute find query, and here they are, 8 documents. Let's first delete this one with this post ID. Let's use delete one method, delete one, and pass query post ID equal to 1111. And let's execute it. Command enter. Acknowledge true, deleted count 1. One document was deleted. And now if I'll double click on post collection, I will not see this document here. Now let's delete those 2 documents. And that will be task for you. Use delete many method and delete all documents that don't have title field. Good luck! Okay, what is the result? This task was relatively challenging because I have asked you to find documents that don't have specific field. And for this case, you need to use exists operator, and we have not discussed this operator in the course. Let's do that now together. Let's use delete many, and here I'll find documents that don't have title field. In this case, I'll use here an object and use exists operator, exists false. Let's first, instead of delete many, use find method. Command enter. And now you get those 2 documents that don't have title field. Okay, let's now delete them. Instead of find, delete many. Command enter. And now those 2 documents gone. Now if I get back to find query and execute it again, command enter, I'll get 5 documents as before. Okay, let's move on to the last section in this course, where I will shortly overview some advanced MongoDB features. See you in the next section. Bye bye. In this section we will talk about some advanced MongoDB features. And first topic is aggregation framework. What is the purpose of this aggregation framework? Using aggregation framework, you can take documents in your collection, you can find subset of the documents, and then produce brand new documents at the end. For example, using aggregation framework, you can find all distinct values of the tags in the tags array in all documents. Or you can find all values of the comments field. Or you can find all titles in the documents, and so on. This framework is very powerful, and in the next lecture I'll show you a couple of examples of the usage of aggregation framework. See you in a moment. Bye. Now I'll show you a couple of simple examples where aggregation framework is used. Let's go back to Robo 3t. I'll close all tabs and open new shell. Here I'll use aggregate syntax db.pos.aggregate. And aggregate method needs an array of objects. Let's now do following. Let's find all different author names in the documents. Author name is located here. I'll use group operator, curly braces, and here $group, then colon and another object. And here I'll type following: _id, colon, then in double quotes, $author.name. And let's execute this request. Command Enter. And as a result of this request, I'll get 3 new documents. And each document has one field, _id, and value is name of each author. There are 3 different authors for 5 posts. That is an example of the aggregation request. Let's change author name to author.nickname and run this. Now I get nicknames of all authors. I can change author.nickname to comments, for example. Command Enter. And now I will find all distinct values of the comments: 25, 3, 0 and 10. Okay, let's move to the next section where we will talk about MongoDB indexes. See you there. In this lecture I'll tell you about MongoDB indexes, and I'll use native MongoDB shell to demonstrate it. I'll switch to forumDB, use forum, and then perform following: db.posts.getIndexes and empty parentheses, enter. And here I get array that consists of objects, and each object is index. In each collection there is default index, and this index is created by field _id. 1 here means that index is ascending. Name of the index is here, _id_, and namespace is forum.post. This index ensures that if you perform query by _id, for example, let's find certain post, db.post.find, and here let me use this object ID. I'll copy this, clear terminal, and use db.post.find1, and here I'll use query by _id. Here it is. Let's execute this. And here is the result. In this case, this query was executed using index. This document was found using _id index. If I use in the query other fields, for example post ID or comments or author, in those cases, full collection scan is performed. You can add to the index other fields if you want. And usually indexes are created for the fields that are most often used in the queries. For example, if you use post ID or text in the queries, you need to create corresponding indexes. Okay, let's move on, and in the next lecture let's discuss MongoDB utilities. See you in a second. Bye bye. Now I want to talk about MongoDB utilities, such as Mongo Export, Mongo Import, Mongo Dump, and Mongo Restore. Those utilities are separate applications and then can be used for data management in MongoDB. Mongo Export is used to export specific data from certain collection. Mongo Import is used to import data into MongoDB database. Mongo Dump creates dump from the MongoDB database. And Mongo Restore is used to restore data from the MongoDB dump. Let me show you Mongo Export and Mongo Dump in action. In order to demonstrate this, I will use terminal window. Please note that those utilities are separate applications, and You don't need to open Mongo shell in order to use them. I'll go to the terminal and change directory to the desktop. Then I'll use Mongo export utility, Mongo export, and now I'll pass several arguments to it. -d specifies name of the database, in our case it is forum. -c name of the collection, it is POS. And -o specifies name of the file where this export data will be written to. And name of the file will be just pos.txt. And let's execute this command. Enter. And here you will see result. This application was successfully connected to localhost and has exported 5 records. Let's open up this newly created pos.txt file. Double-click on it. And here you will see contents from the POS collection. And you see our documents. You may notice that instead of object ID, $OID is used to represent object ID type. Question for you. How do you think why this format is used here? Answer is simple. Now this document was exported as JSON object, not as extended JSON object. And you see that now this document fully conforms to JSON standard. Let me close this file. Let's now use MongoDump utility that will create dump of the entire database. Just MongoDump and enter. And you see that 2 collections were automatically dumped: admin.system.version and forum.pos. And you see that on the desktop new folder called dump was created. Let's open up this folder. And you will see here 2 folders, admin and forum. Let me expand forum. And you see here pos.bson file and pos.metadata.json. And if I'll expand admin database, I'll see similar structure, BSON file and metadata.json file. What is stored in those files? In the BSON file, data from the collection is stored in the BSON format, in the binary format. And metadata.json file contains information about indexes. Let's try to open this BSON file. And I'll use special utility for this, called hexdump. Let me open new terminal window. New window. Let me make it larger. Then clear. Then cd to desktop /dump/forum. I'm moving to this folder, this one. Enter. And here I'll use hexdump utility and pass name of the file called pos.bson. Pos.bson. Enter. And here you will see binary data from the BSON file. Here it is. And this output is just sequence of the ASCII codes in the hexadecimal format. Remember that we have discussed this in the previous lectures. Let me add here one more option, -C, and enter. And here on the right you'll see attempt to parse this sequence of the ASCII codes. And you can read some parts of our documents. What is the best way to learn JavaScript from the ground up, and so on. And now you already know that those ASCII codes contain also information about values types. For example, here you see title, and that is a string, and here this 02 represents string value type, and so on. That is the BSON format. Okay, let's move on, and in the next lecture, let's discuss MongoDB replica sets. See you there. Bye-bye. Let's now shortly discuss MongoDB replica sets. In this course, we have used standalone MongoDB installation on the local computer. And of course, such kind of setup isn't suitable for production needs. If you want to use MongoDB in production, you must set up MongoDB replica set. Replica set consists of several MongoDB servers, and I have never seen production database that consists just of one server. In each replica set, there is always only one primary server, and all others are secondary. And you can make changes only on the primary server. And if you, for example, update one of the documents, then this update is automatically propagated to all secondary servers. Or in other words, it is replicated from primary to secondary. That is the process in the replica set. If primary server fails, then secondary servers will elect new primary server, and one of the secondary servers will become primary. If you want to perform write operation, you must do it on the primary server. But if you want to read data from the database, perform, for example, aggregation request or simple find query, then you can read from any of the servers, either from primary or from secondary. Remember that at the beginning of the course I have shown you example of the MongoDB Atlas setup. Let's get back to it. Here it is. Here is my cluster. And cluster consists of 3 servers. And you see here tags secondary, primary and secondary. It means that I have in the cluster 3 servers combined in the replica set. And one of the servers, this one, is primary. If this server will fail, then one of those 2 secondary servers will become automatically primary. Now, if I perform any read operations, I can read from any of those servers. But if I want to change data, then I will do that only on the primary server. And this information will be automatically replicated to all secondary servers. That is the process in the MongoDB replica set. Okay, let's move on, and in the next lecture, let's talk about MongoDB drivers. See you there. Bye-bye. In this course, we have used native MongoDB shell and MongoDB shell embedded into the Robo 3T. But if you want to use MongoDB in full stack or backend applications, you should consider using MongoDB drivers. And there are many different MongoDB drivers available. There are drivers for PHP, for Node.js, for C#, C++, for Java, for Python, and so on. Those drivers are used for same operations that we have briefly discussed in this course. I mean for create, read, update, and delete operations. If you use one of those programming languages or platforms, you should install MongoDB driver and connect it with your MongoDB database. Okay, that is the last lesson in this section, and next let's wrap up this introduction to the MongoDB course. See you there! In this course you have learned basics of MongoDB. We have covered MongoDB architecture, we talked about MongoDB shell and MongoDB server, we discussed what is a database, what is collection, what is a document, we talked about JSON, BSON, extended JSON formats, we discussed different BSON types such as object ID, date, and so on. We performed different CRUD operations, we inserted documents into the collection, we have edited them, we have found different documents using certain query operators, we have deleted documents, and we discussed some advanced MongoDB features. I really hope that you enjoyed this short introduction course to MongoDB. And I would like to say thank you for attending this course. What's next? This course was just the top of the MongoDB iceberg. And if you want to learn MongoDB in depth, I suggest you to attend my other course called MongoDB Essentials Complete MongoDB Guide. This course has more than 10 hours of content and thousands of happy students. And of course, I recommend you to practice, practice, and practice. If you don't have any MongoDB projects to work on, create your own projects and learn MongoDB by doing. If you enjoyed this course, thumbs up, if not, thumbs down. Subscribe to this channel and leave a comment. Again, thanks so much for attending this course, and I wish you good luck. Bye bye.